Hello students. In this video we are going to start about parallel plate capacitor. We will be finding the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. It is a most commonly used capacitor. It consists of two thin conducting plates X and Y having area A and field parallel to each other at a suitable distance d apart. I am drawing a diagram here. You can see first place plate X having positive charge, one more plate is there Y negative charge. We know that the direction of field is always from positive to negative, so we can show like that, and we did in the last video that electric field is always equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, so and the distance between them is small d and the area of the plate is A. This will show here earthing. In the most commonly used capacitor, it consists of two thin conducting plates X and Y, each having area A and held parallel to each other. You can see here at a suitable distance small d apart. The plates are separated by the insulating medium like air, paper, mica, glass, etc. Plate X is insulated and plate Y is earth connected. When charge capital Q is given to plate X, then my charge minus Q appears on the nearer face of the plate Y, we know because of induction, and charge Q on the farther face of the plate Y. Now if charge plus will be here, charge plus Q will be here, but we know that when we have done earthing here, this is a bound charge because this is nearer, and this is free charge, and we will do earthing. Free charge will go to earth. Okay, let plus sigma is the surface charge density of this plate and minus sigma is the surface charge density of this plate. The electric field on the left of the plate X and electric field on the right of the plate, electric field here and electric field here will be equal to 0, and here the electric field will be 0, here also the electric field will be 0, and the electric field between the two plates of the capacitor will be given by sigma by epsilon naught, and we know that sigma equal to charge by area, so it will be E equals to Q by A epsilon naught. Now between the two parallel plates the electric field is uniform and parallel to the plates. You can see here if suppose if capital V is the potential difference between the two plates, then we know that E is equals to V by D, therefore V equals to ED. Okay, at the place of E now we will put this value, it will be sigma by epsilon naught D. V equal to sigma by epsilon naught D, and we know sigma value is what? Charge by area. It will be Q by A epsilon naught D is V. Now we will find the capacitance. The formula is Q by V. When we put the value of V here, it will be Q by A epsilon naught D. So this Q and this Q will cut. The formula will be epsilon naught A by D. This is the formula to find the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Now you can see from here that capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor is directly proportional to the area of the plate, is inversely proportional to the square of distance to the not the square, only the distance to the plate, and it is also directly proportional to the permittivity of the space between two medium, between two plates, permittivity of the medium between two plates. Okay, now this is the, I repeat myself, in a parallel plate capacitor we will take two plates X and Y. We will give charge plus Q charge to the plate X, then minus Q charge will appear on this face of the other plate, and plus charge will appear here, and we have, you can see we have done earthing. So this charge, which is plus Q, is free charge, will go to the earth, minus charge will be here. Direction of electric field is always from positive to negative, and it is parallel to each other because it is uniform electric field. It is also being perpendicular to the plate, After that we know that in this region and in this region the electric field due to two plates will cancel out each other. So we need to find electric field only at this place, which is E equal to sigma by epsilon naught, where sigma is the surface charge density, and at the place of sigma we will write Q by A, charge by area. A is the area of the plate, and we know that E equals to V by D, therefore V equals to ED. D is the distance between two plates. Now after putting the value of everything, we will find the capacitance. The formula for the capacitance is very simple. It is charge by potential. So when we put the charge by potential, charge and charge will be cancelled, and what we are getting epsilon naught A by D is the total capacitance of a capacitor, parallel plate capacitor. From here we can conclude that capacitance is directly proportional to the area of the plate, capacitance is inversely proportional to the distance between the two plates, and capacitance is directly proportional to the permittivity of the medium between the two plates. After that, two things are there that which are not there in our syllabus, but I can tell you how to find those formulas for all this. Capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor and capacitance of a cylindrical capacitor. So the capacitance of a spherical capacitor, this is not included directly in the syllabus of CBSE, so we will not find in detail, but yes, we will see the diagram and we will see the last answer. Wait for 2 minutes, I am drawing the diagram here. This is center of the sphere O. Electric field will be 0 here. We know that all the electric field will be inside will be 0. A spherical capacitor consists of two concentric spherical shells having inner radius small a and outer radius small b, two spheres having charges plus q and minus q respectively. You can see plus q here, minus q here respectively. As the electric field inside a hollow conductor is 0, so for r which is less than a, means in this area electric field will be 0. Secondly, the field outside the outer shell is also 0, that is E equal to 0 for r greater than b. Here also the electric field will be 0. Okay, so a radial electric field exists between the two shells due to their charge on the inner shell only. Here the electric field will be there. Here in this region the electric field will be there. To determine the electric field at any point, we need to draw a Gaussian surface. You can see here, which is passing through a point P. We have drawn a Gaussian surface which is passing through a point P. This is a Gaussian surface, and we need to assume an area, small element area ds here. Okay, and the ds and electric field is all both going in the same direction. So E is coming here 0. Now what we need to do, we need to find the capacitance. I am writing here directly. The formula will be C equals to 4 pi epsilon naught AB, that is the radius of the inner and outer radii, by B minus A. This formula you need to use to find the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. This formula will be used to find the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Here we first need to find electric field, then we will find potential difference, then we will find the formula C equals to Q, capacitance by using the formula C equals to Q by V. Okay, now we are going to the next topic, and the next topic is very simple that we have already done in class 10, but not in the case of capacitance. We have done the case of resistance. Now here we will be doing grouping of capacitors, and we know that grouping of capacitor means combination of capacitor. We have two kind of combination, one is series combination and one is parallel combination. So first we will go for series combination. In series combination, either we connect resistance or we connect capacitance. It is connected end to end. Suppose this is capacitance C1, then the here capacitance is C2, then here third capacitor we are adding of capacitance C3. Charges are same, plus Q minus Q charges are there. Here also plus Q minus Q charges, here also plus Q minus charges, because we know that in a series combination the charge and the current remains same. Okay, suppose here the potential for the first capacitor is V1, for the second capacitor it is V2, and for the third capacitor it is V3. So when we will connect it with the help of a battery, what we can see here, that if the total potential is V, so how do we start in series combination? We know that the voltage is getting divided in all the capacitor, but the sum of all the voltage will be equal to the sum of the supplied voltage. So we can write here V equals to V1 plus V equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. At the place of this V, we will write Q by CS. We know that B equal to Q by C. Here we will write Q by C1. Here we will write Q by C2, and here we will write Q by C3. Then 1 by CS is coming equals to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. You can see this equation, you can see this combination, and the result, I think you can notice the result is getting identical with the parallel combination of resistance. So if we are getting the result of series combination of capacitance identical with the parallel combination of the resistance, so definitely we must get the result of parallel combination of capacitance identical with the result of series combination of resistance, that we will do next. In parallel combination, what we do, we connect all the ends together. Here the charge is plus Q, the charge is minus Q, 1 Q1, then capacitance C1 is there, one more capacitor C2. Here the charge is Q2 plus Q2 minus Q2. You can see now the charges are not being same, because we are not connecting in further in parallel series combination. It will be Q3 minus Q3. C3 is a capacitance. Now we are connecting the ends together, the plates together. All the positive plates have been connected together here, and all the negative plates have been connected together here. Plus Q charge was supplied from here, and this plot we can do earthing. So what you can see here, that now the potential is same for all the capacitance, but the charges are getting divided as Q1, Q2 and Q3. But again we know that the charges is getting divided, but the total amount of charge should be same. So we can write here Q is equals to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. At the place of Q we will write CV. We can write here CPV, C1V plus C2V plus C3V. So we find the result as C1 plus C2 plus C3. So what we can conclude from here, that the result of the combination of resistance in series and parallel is getting just opposite of the result of combination of capacitance. So when we will join this capacitance in series combination, we need to add the reciprocal of all the capacitance of all the capacitor, and at last we will reciprocate it again. And in parallel combination, we just need to simply add it, and that will give us the value of the equivalent capacitance. Okay. Now we need to find energy stored in a capacitor. That is also very important topic. Energy stored in a capacitor. We need to find energy stored in a capacitor. For that, we will first draw a capacitor in which two plates will be there. We know first plate will be having charge plus, the next plate will be having charge minus. Suppose this is having a charge plus Q, having a charge minus Q. The potential between them is V. Okay, and electric field is directed from here to here. The value of electric field is E. We know that a capacitor is a device used to store energy because it is used to store charge. The process of charging a capacitor involves the transfer of electric charge from one plate to the other plate. The work done in charging a capacitor will be stored in the form of electrical potential energy. The energy is supplied by the battery at the expense of its stored chemical energy and can be recovered on allowing the capacitor to discharge. If you want to get the chemical energy again, you can discharge the capacitor, you will get the chemical energy back. Now consider a capacitor of capacitance C does not possess any charge initially. If two plates are uncharged, you can see here the two plates are uncharged. When the capacitor is being charged, positive charge is transferred from negative charge plate B to the positive charge plate A. We need to show it here that positive charge is being transferred from the negative plate to the positive plate A, and the work done in bringing the plate A becomes the energy of the capacitor. Now let the charge which is transferred from plate B to plate A is very small, and suppose the charge is dq. Okay. Each till plate A gets charge plus Q. By conservation of charge, if this plate is getting charge plus Q, this must get a charge minus Q, because we know that charge can be if plus Q is charge is getting away from there, then minus Q charge should be there. At every stage of charging, conductor A is always at higher potential than conductor B. Therefore, work is done in externally. We know that at any stage, this plate is at more potential than this plate. Suppose the name of the plate is A. So when we are trying to bring a charge dq from this plate to this plate, some work needs to be done externally. Now we have assumed here that the potential is V and Q be the charge on the plate A at any instant of charging. So work done will be what we know, that work done equals to potential into charge. So at the place of potential we can write Q by C, because we have assumed that small q is the amount of charge at any moment in the plate A. So to find the total work done, what we need to do, we need to integrate dW from 0 to W. In order to integrate that left hand side, we need to integrate the right hand side also. So we can see here that C is a constant term here, we can take it outside, and we will integrate Q dQ by taking a lower limit 0 and upper limit Q. Here we will get W, which is also the energy. Here we will get W, which is also the energy. We can write U also, and on the right hand side it will be 1 by C, and Q dQ will be Q square by 2. Upper limit will be kept here, lower limit will be kept here. It will be Q square by 2. So the energy of the capacitor can be written as Q square by 2C. and if the it is getting charged from 0 to capital Q, so we can write here capital Q also. So it will be Q square by 2C is the energy stored in a capacitor. We can write in various form because we know that Q equals to CV. If you put the value here, the answer will be half CV square. Okay, and if we put C equals to Q by V, the answer will be U equals to half QV. So each and every formula is correct. This is also correct. This is also correct. This is also correct. We can use it according to our requirement. Now energy stored in a capacitor in using. Now what we can do? We know that Q equals to CV. Therefore V by Q equals to 1 by C, and so we can say from here that if 1 by C is a constant term, V is proportional to Q. Thus the graph between V and Q should be a straight line passing through the origin. We can draw a graph here for the capacitor. Should be a straight line passing through the origin. Okay. In series combination of the capacitor, the energy of all the capacitor will be added simply, and in parallel combination of the capacitor, also the energy will be added simply. Okay. Now the next topic that we can do, we can study about energy density of an electric field. After that we can study about redistribution of charges. When two conductors of different capacitance is getting connected with the help of a conductor. Then loss of energy is your part, you can do by yourself. The two topics, energy density of an electric field and redistribution of charge, that I will do by myself. The next topic for us is the energy density of an electric field. When a capacitor is stored, the potential, the electric field is set up in the region between two plates, we know, because one plate is positive charge and one plate is negative charge, so electric field will be there from positive to negative. So we can say that the work done in charging process has been used in creating the electric field. This is also correct. When we are charging, we are creating the electric field only. Thus the energy stored per unit volume of the space between the plates of the capacitor is known as energy density. I repeat myself, energy stored per unit volume of the space between the plates of the capacitor is known as energy density. Now consider a parallel plate capacitor having area of each plate capital A, so the capacitance will be epsilon naught A by D. Okay. When the capacitor is charged to voltage V, the energy which is gained by the capacitor will be half CV square, we know. And potential, we know also that potential is equals to E into D. So we can write here that U equals to half. At the place of C we will write this value, at the place of V we will write this value, epsilon naught A by D, and at the place of V we will write E square D square. So after writing this, we can get the answer as of the energy half epsilon naught, you can cancel, E square AD. This is the energy stored in a capacitor in form of electric field, area of the plate, and the distance between the two plates. Okay, now we need to find energy density, and we know that this is what? This is the energy stored per unit volume. So U will be equals to, energy stored per unit volume will be equals to U by V, that is half into epsilon into E square AD. At the place of volume we can write area into distance, which can be cancelled but from the numerator and denominator, and we'll get the result as half epsilon naught E square. This is the energy density formula of the capacitor of electric field. The energy density per unit volume is also known as energy density. So we can get from here that UE, that is energy density, is directly proportional to the square of the electric field, and the unit will be joule per meter cube, because we are using the formula energy stored per unit volume. Okay, after that we will study about redistribution of charges, that is also known as common potential. Whenever two conductors having different charge, different capacitance, different potential is joined through a conductor, you need to find the common potential. What happens there? I am trying to show you it. Suppose this is conductor A standing on an insulating stand, having some charges, and there is one more conductor B. This is also having same kind of charge, not the same amount of charge, also standing on a insulating stand. So when we will connect them with the help of a conducting wire, what will happen? Consider two capacitor of capacitance C1, C2 having charges Q1, Q2. If B1 and B2 is their potential, then we know that Q1 equals to C1 V1 and Q2 equal to C2 V2. When the two conductors are joined by a thin conducting wire, then positive charge will flow from the conductor at higher potential to the conductor at low potential, because we know that it is a tendency of the charge to always flow from high potential to low potential. This flow of charge will continue till the potential of both the conductor becomes the same. Let the common potential is becoming V. Okay, the total charge, when we will find a total charge, the total charge will be Q1 plus Q2, that is C1 V1 plus C2 V2. If V is the common potential on sharing charges, then total charge will be C1V plus C2V, or we can write C1 plus C2 and we can take V common. According to the conservation of charge, this charge and this charge should be same. So we can write here C1 V1 plus C2 V2 equals to C1 plus C2 into V, where V is the common potential. So if you find the common potential from here, it will be C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. This is the value of the common potential. If after redistribution of charges on the conductors A and B, the charges are now Q1 dash and Q2 dash, then the value of Q1 dash will be C1V, the value of Q2 dash will be C2V, and the ratio of Q1 dash to the Q2 dash will be C1 and by C2. This is the case of redistribution of charge. Here we studied about the redistribution of charge and the common potential between them. One more thing can be done here. There will be loss of energy on sharing of charges, that also we can find loss of energy on sharing of charges. To find that, we can write here, earlier the energy of the plate 1, conductor 1 was half C1 V1 square, conductor 2 was half C2 V2 square, and after connecting them, the energy should be U1 plus U2, that is half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square. It should be the energy, half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square. But there is always a loss in energy. When the charges are shared between two bodies, no charge is lost. However, some energy is dissipated in the form of heat, which means some energy is lost on sharing the charges. To calculate the loss of charge energy, consider two capacitance C1 and C2 having potential V1 and V2 are connected together with the wire. Then their charges are shared. The shared flows from the the charge flow from the capacitor at higher potential to the capacitor at lower potential that we already saw here. Okay, the common potential, we also know that the common potential, wait it for some time, the common potential is what? C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. The total energy before sharing the charge was what? Half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square. This was the total energy before sharing the charges, and the total energy after the sharing the charges will be half C1 plus C2 V square, because after sharing the charges the potential is not different for both, the potential is common. So this is initial energy, this is final energy, but there is always a loss in form of heat, which means we need to find the loss of heat. To find the loss of heat, we need to do Ui minus Uf, that is initial energy minus final energy. So when we will do that, we will get the loss in energy as half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square. This is for this, minus for this we need to write this, and now we are writing here C1 V1 plus C2 V2 whole square divided by 2 C1 plus C2. This I am getting from here. If we put the value of V in this equation, then you will get the result as this. Okay, and after solving all this, you will get the result as C1 C2 in bracket V1 minus V2 whole square divided by 2 C1 plus C2. This is the total loss in energy. As you can see that this value should be greater than 0, so this is always greater than this. That is, there is always a loss of energy in form of heat. So we have studied about energy density, we have studied about distribution of charge when the two conductors are being connected with the help of a thin wire, and loss of energy on sharing the charges. Now in the next video, in the next topic we will study about dielectric and their polarization of dielectric, capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor with dielectric slab, and discharge action at sharp points. These are the topics that we are going to study in the next video.